The Joe Rogan Experience.
What else was a bummer?
Well, you want to talk about the boners?
Sure, let's talk about the boners.
You mentioned that.
I found that to be entirely hilarious, ruthlessly unscientific.
Yeah.
And like the whole thing with the guy saying, I'm going to eat what a gorilla eats. I mean, they're showing this guy who's protecting rhinos who are being slaughtered for their horns. Like, what does that have anything to do with eating meat?
They're morally equating that with eating
exactly.
hamburger.
Well, what they're doing is
pretty obvious what they were doing there.
Yes,
even though they didn't say that, that's
right.
what they were doing.
They're attaching themselves to an indisputable cause.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody wants people to stop shooting rhinos for their horns. Everyone does. If you don't, you're an asshole. Don't eat meat. What?
Right.
How'd you get that in there? You guys snuck that in there. What the fuck did you do?
Yeah. So for those who haven't seen the film, the erection, the boner experiment, if we're going to call it that, is it was Aaron Spitz, who's a urologist, and he puts penis rings on a bunch of NFL players, and then he measures the effects of different meals on their erections, both the circumference, I guess, the size of the erection, the duration, and the intensity of the erections. So he feeds the players burritos with meat in them, and then he feeds them the same burrito with like a plant protein. I'm not sure what it was, tempeh or something like that. And then he claims...
I think it was beans.
Was it beans? Okay, yeah. Maybe. And then he claims that the athletes who ate the pure plant burritos had 500% more frequent erections and also increased strength of erections. So what can we conclude from this experiment? Absolutely nothing, because it was just an experiment that was made up and done in a film. It was not peer reviewed. It's not scientific at all. That's the whole scientific
here's
system.
How it could have been scientific, right?
Yeah.
If they did it in different orders. So they put the penis band on the dudes one night. They had them eat whatever the fuck they had them eat. I think it was steak burritos. And then the next night, they put the penis bands on them again, and they have them eat beans. And so they say you got more erections. Did you guys jerk off in between then? Did you guys have sex? Did you get used to having the penis band on? When you slept with it the first time, did it bother you? Did it interrupt your sleep?
Yeah.
The second time, were you more comfortable with it? Did you guys try to reverse it? One day, the first day, on a different group of people, give them the band and make them eat a vegetarian diet. Then the next day, give them the band on the second day and make them eat steak. Did you switch that up?
You can ask any number of questions, and that's the whole point.
Science.
That's why we have science. That's
right.
why we have a process of peer review. That's why we have reproducibility, meaning even if one group comes up with one finding, it's not really worth much until somebody else reproduces that. Something like 90% or more of findings, scientific findings, are not reproduced.
Right.
That means that we can't trust them. So
I would like to know if they were asked to not engage in sexual intercourse or masturbation during that time period, because that would make sense that they were getting more erections and more fuller erections the next day, especially the young guys that are savages.
Well, I went
out there playing football.
I went to look at research, like, is there any peer-reviewed research that shows that plant-based diets are better for erectile function and lower the risk of erectile dysfunction? Couldn't find anything. I did find studies. One study of a Mediterranean diet, which includes some animal products, reduced erectile dysfunction relative to a low-fat diet, which maybe might have fewer animal products. So that kind of contradicts it, perhaps. There were studies that showed that diet quality is important. So Western diet and high in processed foods led to erectile dysfunction. Diet rich in flavonoid containing foods, which would be fruits and vegetables, reduced erectile dysfunction. But none of that says it has anything to do with meat. It just says don't eat a junk food diet if you don't want erectile dysfunction.
Yeah, it's just deceptive.
Totally.
There was another, but it does show that those guys did get more hard-ons under that circumstance. But as you said, what does that mean?
What does it mean, and can we even trust it?
Right.
I mean, frankly, given some of the other stuff in the film,
right? Can you trust it?
Can you trust that?
Right. I mean, who's to say, right?
Yeah.